We are clipping right along. We only have 4 days left of our 31 days of Halloween. Hi, this is Kelly with Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, and today, this is our final Timmy Tuesday with Tim Holtz products, and I brought in a couple other things just because I needed them to work. So today is day 28, so let's see what I'm working on. I started with one of the packagings from some of the Tim Holtz stuff, and it was just the perfect size for this tag size. And I also went through my paper pad of Abandoned, which was an 8x8 paper pad from Tim Holtz that I've had for years, and I've been pulling from to do this project. Working on Tim Holtz stuff for backgrounds. And what I did was, I was inspired by something on Pinterest, I believe. And if I can find it, I will link it down below. But it's very loosely. It was definitely inspired. And I wanted to use the Tim Holtz tags. And it created 3 pockets for the tags to come out. So I chose, instead of doing different sizes of tags, I went strictly with this one. And I have them glued into place. Well, affixed into crates with mint tape so that I could figure out my spacing for these. And I'm going to leave them right there where they're at for now, because I need to bring in my banner, and I need to know where my banner is going to glue to. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move the base out of the way, and I'm going to ink my edges. And I'll come back and do the tags after I get this glued into place. But I want to make sure I've got that spacing available. Now we may have to change the corner that we use. We've been using that one corner for all the tags, but this one we may have to change a little bit. But I want to make sure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over this way. And I'm going to mark with a pencil where this needs to go. And I have to make sure when I put that glue line in that I leave room for the tags to be able to come in and out. So that's very loosely where those tags are going to glue into. And I don't know why it's this bottle that I have had so much trouble with this tip clogging. I have never had this problem with Tombow glue before. But it seems like it wants to clog, and then it's got air bubbles in it like crazy. I wound up with a lot more glue than I wanted yesterday. So I'm just going to do a line of glue. And I better put my cheaters on to make sure I can see these. Because they're very loose. There they are. So I want to put just a band of glue where I put those lines. And that should leave me room to slide those tags in and out. Just like this. And I can do this one all the way to the top. Okay. So I can come back and I should be able to, time to move the tags. Time to move the tags, or I'm going to wind up with glue on my tags. But I'm going to go right here to the edge of my tag, right like that. And we're going to let that sit for a minute, because if I don't, I'm liable to have glue. Now, if we have problems getting the tags in and out, we can fix that by just trimming the tags down a little bit. It's no big deal. But I want to make sure those glue into place. And now that that's where it needs to be, let's see where we are on our tag corners. Oh, before we do that, how about if, I want to go ahead and glue this in first, I think. I think that's what I want to do. I've taken a piece of the purple fabric, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to use Glossy Accents for this because it's here. And I'm just going to run a bead of Glossy Accents down that strip of fabric. And you know, I'm so afraid of messing this up. I'm recording this on Tuesday the 21st. So I can go ahead and put all my Timmy stuff away and get ready for the next stage of the last 2 that I have to do. And I have a paper towel here, and we're going to let that, if that wants to seep through a little bit, that's fine, because we're going to put this black braid trim down there too. So I'm going to come back with my glossy accents, run a bead right down the center, and we'll see if this will glue fabric. And I'm going to start up here at the top, down here at the bottom. Now glossy accent should dry rather quickly, and it does dry clear, so if any squirts out to the side, I'm okay. And then I'm going to come back in, cap our glossy accents, and then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to clip my fabrics off, I hope. Oh, glossy accents is not going to cooperate. So, no worries. We will bring out our craft tape or craft glue, and it glues really quick. And I'm going to get my other paintbrush out. And we're okay with that. We can do this. So I'm just going to glue a bit down the center that needs to go on. And again, if this comes over, it's okay. It's going to dry clear, so there's no worries about that. Just trying to get it off the back of my brush and more on the bristle where I need it. And not get it too crazy out of there. Whoopsie, and I come off the edge, and I didn't want to come off the edge. I want to go right down through the center. I think I need to take stuff to both of my brushes today. And we're just going to re-glue this right down through the center where it belongs. And I might have tried moving that a little too soon, and that might have been part of my problem. Who knows? At this hour of the morning, it's almost 6 a.m. I can about get ready to put the dog out, feed the cats. Okay. Now let's see if we can snip this off so we can keep moving here. That Italian trim from Spectrum Art Creations is really pretty trim, but it can be tough to cut if you want to cut off just a little bit. Okay. So we have that, and that's going to glue. Now let's see how our tags are doing here. Now, the other thing I'm going to do, because I know it makes a difference if I clip these corners around them off, it lets them slide in and out of places easier, and definitely may need that on this one. Now I do need to go back and distress these tags, but right now my main focus is making sure they're going to fit first. And let's do this one. I think I'm going to have to find me some protein pretty soon, and I'm not sure what protein is going to be this morning. I know tomorrow morning it's going to be Italian omelets, because tomorrow is Bobby's birthday, and that's what he has requested. So we'll have Italian omelets for breakfast tomorrow. Okay, so then we'll see if these will fit. See, they're a little snug, but they're going to fit. And I want to put this one down here, and I want to put this one down here. Now, because this is a Tim Holtz, I want to bring in a paper doll in here. But now that I know these will fit, and I think I'm going to trim them just a hair so that they're not quite so tight in there. Let's flip this over. We just need to take a sliver off, not a lot, just a sliver. So I'll have to come back and repunch that edge. And it's not going to make a big difference on that tag. Now we have a full moon. We had a full moon on the 21st. I almost forgot I was recording this a week ahead of time. I just want to get my studio cleaned is all I'm after. Okay, that one didn't quite clip a corner, but we're going to be okay. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Now I cut those tags out from the white cardstock as well as the paper so that I still had my writing space on the back. And now we can go through and we can dust these. As soon as I'm done with this video this morning, I am going to clean my brushes good with a little acetone and get them cleaned up and ready for the next round of projects. I am not going to be doing a lot of videos in November. I'm going to do at least one, possibly 2 videos a week, and it's going to be all about Christmas because I have got to get my Christmas cards done and ready to go in the mail before the end of the month. So I need to get those done. So we're going to be doing Christmas cards in November, and the rest of the time I'm going to be working on my book. See how easy that picks up the crumbs off my work table? Okay, now we have these. Let's see how they slide in and out of here. See, they're still a little snug, but that's okay. And I wanted to put this one. Maybe what I should have done was punched a thumb hole in there. That might have worked better. Okay, so now we know where those go. So now let's do our corners. I took my corner clipper out because there it is, I was going to say, because it's not hanging where it's supposed to. And I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to use my heavier duty scissors here. I don't think I'll use my fussy cut ones this time because that package backing is a little bit heavier. Now see, this one's going to clip right at my tag. So I'm going to bump it up just a hair so it comes out just above the tag and isn't cutting my tag off, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to need that because this is what I'm putting on the ends of my tags. I love this stuff. It is so fun. And I'm going to just pull a tag out, use my crochet hook to pull that through, and to pull it through on itself, just like that. Ah, something hooked up somewhere. I really need a bigger hook, I guess, for this, but let's try this one more time. There we go. There we go. And then we're going to snip that off. We don't need all that fuzz. And that'll go in there. And I do have more of this over here that I can pull more out. So let's... Okay, now that's split on me, and I want to make sure I get all that loop in there. I didn't think that was going to work because I felt it flip on me. So let's pull this back out. Okay, try this again. I love this fuzzy stuff, but it's not as easy to work with as you might think. There we go. Okay, and I need just a little bit more here. I have a lot of this stuff. A lot. One whole bobbin is nothing but this fuzzy stuff. Okay. I think we got it. I think we got it. Now, did I waste some of the fuzzy? Absolutely. But you know what? I can't keep everything. Okay, there's that. Now, the only thing left that I want to do is I want to put a paper doll here. And so let's get out my paper doll case. I've been piling stuff on top of it over here. And let's put a witch on the front. Oh, wait a minute. I may only have double witches. There's that one. That one, does it? There we go. Yeah, I've only got the 2 witch sisters. And they're almost too big for that. But I think I'm going to leave them there. I think that's what we're going to go with. Now these do need a little bit more oomph to them. So I am going to use my craft glue for this one. Because I definitely want to make sure they stick. Yeah, let's do that. So I need to focus on between their shoulders and down through the center. And if it bleeds over, it's okay. But I want to make sure that they get a good adhesion. Okay, that takes care of that one. Now, the other thing is, what are we going to do for the top of this tag? Or are we going to do anything at all? That's also an option. And now that craft glue will hold those. I probably should have put some right behind their hat. Let's do that. Put some right behind their hat. But what do we do with the top? I think what I'm going to do is I want to put a little bit, let's do a pop of orange maybe, to bring that orange in. Is that going to be too much? Nope, I think it's perfect color. I think it's perfect. But we don't want to put a long one up there. Oh, come on. Now, I had thought about some of the Tim Holtz lace. Excuse me. But it was too short. That's not where I want to put those. But before I glued that down, I probably should have done this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it back here. Excuse me. I think my early morning coffee is getting to my throat. I'm going to have to break into a Coke here pretty soon. Now I'm going down here to the bottom so I can center my tag. Okay, so I have a glob of my crafter's glue there. And I'm going to stick that right there. I'm going to come back in with more of my crafter's glue. And mush that right there. Now, but Kelly, it's on the back. You're right, it is. But look what's going to happen. We're going to sandwich that tag in between there. And that's going to work out just fine. Put my scissors away, out of the way. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this on this part. I think when I get done with this video, I think it's going to be time for me to take care of the animals and try not to pretend that I want to go back to bed because I've been up since 2:30. Oh, do you see what I did there? We're going to go this way. We're going to try and center it. Because see, I had it off. But if we center it, like this, okay, and come back in here with this and wipe that glue off. Okay. Then we can come back in with our bigger scissors, and I'm going to pull these tags out for a moment, just like this. And I think I may go through and find something to put on those tags too, but we're going to come back here with this and trim this off so it matches. I did forget I had brought that up just a little bit wider to make sure I had room for everything. And this is going to be a slightly longer video this morning, but that's okay. We're going to have time to get it uploaded. Because we are, oh, by the time I'm uploading this, we are almost to the end of the month. And I'm trying to get my data used up before the 5th so Bob can have a couple of days to watch me TV. Okay, we got that. And we got that out of the way. I'll have to clean my scissors while I've got that acetone out. And that would not turn loose of me. Turn loose of me. Okay. Now we have that. Now let's go back around our edge and dust it off. I'm going to bend that forward so I can do that top. And this will be our last Tim Holtz Tuesday tag for the 31 days of Halloween. Now, we have that done. Let me get rid of this. And let's look at our chat book and see what we can put in the middle. My scissors put away, I won't need those. We have 3 of these. And let's see. We have the witches. That would be a good one to put on here. Put that one on that one. Something Wicked This Way Comes is kind of dark. I think Salem, Mass will pop on this darker one. I always wanted to take a trip to Salem, Massachusetts, but I had a problem. You know what? Let's come back and dust these edges and give them a shadow. After I went to Chattanooga, Tennessee, down by Chattanooga, a couple of years ago, I decided that, you know what? Driving isn't as much fun as it used to be. Traveling long distance, because there are too many people out there not paying attention. And I'm not a fan of traffic. And the only way I could get to Salem is if I could find a route to avoid Boston. So if you have a route that I could take that would let me avoid, I may have to come back and glue that one down, that would let me avoid Boston, I'm all for it. The witches, I'm looking at, 154 High Street, Salem, Massachusetts. And then I'm going to have to come back and add some glue to these. And I will do that just as soon as I'm done. But in the meantime, there we go. We have the witches of 154 High Street in Salem, Massachusetts. And that's going to do it for the 28 days of Halloween and our finally Tim Holtz Tuesday. And I will see you back here tomorrow for whatever I want to do on Wednesday. Spooky creative blessings.